Good evening, everybody. It's a little bit late, but we're facing Mana this week for week 2. We were gonna play a week ago on Thursday last week, but things didn't work out, which is okay. I think I did mine Spike Myth. If it doesn't work for him, we can switch it up. He has a very wide team, so it was difficult figuring out what 6 he was going to bring, and I honestly still don't know which 6 he's going to bring. I think I narrowed it down probably to these 6. I think these top 4 are going to be making an appearance. Alakazam for speed and power, and then Wishy-Washy for power and Trick Room. But that remains to be seen. Scolipede for speed boost stuff could also make an appearance, but his team's pretty good into Trick Room, if I'm being honest. Like if you look at these speed tiers, like my slowest is 40, and like his bottom 4 are 40 or less, and then like, you know, even 60 compared to my team is pretty slow. So he outspeeds me and underspeeds me, which is a common theme for a lot of teams against me. My speed depth is not as great as it probably could be, but I still think my team is strong enough to make it work, especially with a prankster user, among other things. I think I can make it work. So, but we'll have to see how it pans out. I definitely think, yeah, I think it's probably going to be something like this. So, I don't know. I guess Beware can make an appearance. Fighting is like not amazing into my team. He's just got to nickname his team, which is fine. It gives me a few minutes. But Porygon 2, I think, is a staple. I feel like this is him on. Slap Eviolite on it. You can just bring it every week. It has a lot of options, support options, offensive options. It's got a pretty wide move pool. It gets recover, so it's really tough to take out. And if like even with a 2v1 against this thing, it can still be really difficult to get the win because he can just set Trick Room for himself, outspeed, click recover, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Foul Play, like whatever you want to run. This thing gets a ton of variety. So even a 2v1 endgame against this thing can sometimes not be enough. So, you know, this, I'm 100% expecting this. Rhyperior was one of the new transactions that he made for week 2. Replacing one of his teammates. Actually, I think the transactions that were made, I think Ponyta was one of them, but I think Beware was one of them. Alakazam, Rhyperior were 3 of the options. So 2 of his transactions I'm assuming are probably going to get brought. But we'll this is not at all what I was expecting. Okay. There are a lot of mods in there that I wasn't expecting to see. So we're gonna have to adapt on the fly. I'm actually shocked that Wishy-Washy didn't make it, or Slowbro. Honestly, Slowbro has a pretty good matchup in my team. I guess like Liepard can hit it for dark damage, but like Liepard's got like 68, 88 in both offensive stats, which is like it's usable, but against Slowbro, that's not doing much. So that's a surprising choice. I honestly was expecting Alakazam too. I know like Liepard, if you're only running Psychic moves, but he gets a pretty wide move pool as well. So at least for offensive coverage, which is actually kind of surprising to me. Okay, no timer. Alright. Alright, so these two makes a lot of sense. Actually, these first three, makes a lot of sense. I was expecting it. Trick Room mode is more or less what I was expecting against my team. He has a lot of mons that fall on the lower end of the spectrum, especially compared to my team. No Alakazam means I don't really want to lead Gyapdos. I have U-turn on him. My goal was to U-turn into Alakazam to deal super effective damage and probably just kill it if it doesn't have Sash. Honestly, Gyapdos is still fantastic into this entire team, minus Dragonite. I gotta figure out if it's gonna be Inner Focus or Multi-Scale. Who do I want to lead with is the question. Do I think Porygon 2 Dragonite's gonna be the lead here? Or do I think Scoliped's gonna be the lead? Bug typing is not great in my team. Alright. I think I want to go Life Power, Sigilif. Gyapdos and back is too juicy to deny. And just in case Trick Room goes up, how does this fare into the rest of the team? It's like he was ready for Trevenant. Honestly, Skarmory looks pretty good. Sure. Let's do it. No Porygon 2 as a lead? I feel like this has got to be Inner Focus. Because you want to be able to lead something into Fake Out without worrying about it. What is this thing going to do? Just going to like superpower into Light Bar. Could also just Leaf Storm. Superpower or Leaf... is it Leaf Storm? Yeah, which drops your special attack by 2, which would raise it by 2. That could be kind of spooky. Neither of these get Trick Room. Honestly, I outspeed both. Fake Out, Dragonite. I think I just want to Ice Beam it. Does it have an Ice Berry? Let's find out. Okay, perfect. Substitute. Okay. I don't imagine Dragonite. Oh, that doesn't inform me at all, actually. If it was Multi-Scale or Inner Focus. Because I didn't get a chance to see whether I would flinch because I just outsped. And this thing definitely outspeeds me, I'll tell you that much. Can you Encore a substitute? I don't know. That'll give me more information. I can't let them... Lagging Tail, Cold Berry for flying, makes sense. Swords Dance, Superpower, okay. Quad resisted, just trying to get stats up. I wonder if it doesn't have Leaf Storm. Unless it's just physical. You could technically run both, I feel like, if you really wanted to. Swords Dance. Do I want to double into a slot at all? I think I got a Foul Play into the slot. I'm going to split my damage here. Protect, just because of that. And because... Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Normally, splitting damage is not advisable, but I feel like based on the moves I was using, I feel like it was okay. I honestly think I just double this. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Takes that out. Yep. I was really honestly not expecting this bring at all. But, I mean, it's fast. It outspeeds both of my mons. Which is horrifying, to say the least. And I don't know if I was I don't think it has to be Scarf either. It doesn't have to be Scarf. What's its speeds here? 90. Wait, what the heck? I am not max speed. 153, 146. Yeah, it could just be max speed. What do we find out? Nothing. Nothing. Cobra Berry. Could be anything. What do I think the adaptation is here? Trick Room, maybe? This thing is so freaking fast, man. Outside, Gyapdos is also not max speed. I mean, he's adamant max speed, but that's not max speed. And if he outspeeds Liepard, then this thing outspeeds my entire team, which means they both outspeed my entire team. What if I lead the same thing? If I expect Trick Room. Trevenant is not great here based on what he brought, except for dealing with this, but I think Skarmory can deal with it. Yeah, Porygon 2, okay. Yeah, ooh, yeah, okay. This is not going to be Trick Room then. Because if this thing outspeeds... This thing probably has like Ice Beam or something. Fake Out. This could just be a Protect. I have no switch-ins to Ice Beam. Or Thunderbolt. That's what I get for bringing 3 flying types. What if I just click Imprison? Sealed Trick Room. Okay. Let's see. Porygon can't use Trick Room. It didn't use a move. I don't think I can Encore that, unfortunately. Honestly, I think I just want to... Honestly, that Flare Blitz is horrifying. Foul Play. This thing is gonna kill something. I think I doubled it. It's got Wild Charge. It's a good thing I EV'd this thing for defenses. Doubles into it, yeah. To get rid of that, yeah, makes sense. Foul Play. That actually attack buff helps me. What's coming in? Something for Trick Room, probably. I'm gonna bring Gyapdos in, yeah. I'm gonna try and set Trick Room up. Does this thing Trick Room, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam recover? Foul Play recover? I don't think I trick yet. I think I save that. Ice Beam is we're going to use Thunderbolt. Foul Play. I'm gonna close combat into this. It does have Protect. Nice move. Beautiful move. Very well done. That was really nice. And he does have a switch in. He has 2 switch ins to close combat. Superpower. What did we see last game? Only Superpower. Substitute Protect. Substitute would be terrible. Do I expect the switch out here? I'm gonna Whirlwind this and close combat into this. Could be a switch out. No switch out, does tank it. Maybe I should have doubled it. Superpower, deals good damage. Right here. And Trick Room goes up, okay. That is not good for me. This might be an L. Can I safely Iron Defense? Not really in front of board gun, but I can Iron Defense close combat into this, because hey, it's a good switch. Stone Edge, Sash, save me. Iron Defense, baby. Big damage. It's gonna be Skarmory against the world. This is really bad. I'm gonna detect. Nice protect, nice protect, okay. Superpower, yep. Trying to get some buffs off. No switching to body press at this point. Protect, alright, this. Okay, we don't know the speed tiers between these two. I would imagine right here is probably slower. Honestly, I can go for the double. I got the double, nice. Stone Edge, okay. Superpower, lucky me. I'm not going for the triple, I'll tell you that right now. I roost. And honestly, I just go for the close combat. Oh, the crit! Good thing I roosted. Save me. I'm gonna try to 1v3. It's probably not gonna work. Is he gonna read me like a book? I don't like those crits, man. But I don't like the stat boosts. Okay, is this Stone Edge? Okay, no crits. Cool, cool, cool. I don't know. This Thunderbolt probably just destroys me here, huh? Do I think it protects just in case to get another move off? It could protect. I have to target it, because if it gets Trick Room up, I'm in trouble. It could protect here. Right here, it could get crit. No, okay, body press. Any crits? I think I just roost for health, yeah. Stone Edge crit, maybe. Yeah, resisted because of steel, because it's grounded. At this point, I think I just body press for big damage. Yeah. Iron Defense body press is stupid. Let's make sure I copy these so I'm not stupid. Yeah, his team was interesting. I mean, these three I expected. I was not expecting Larantis, Ponyta, and Scolipede. I actually forgot his name. Scolipede at all. I mean, this thing is really fast and gets speed boost. Did it actually? Was it on the field for longer than a turn? I think it was. Yeah, okay, it was speed boost. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's. I mean, speed boost. It could have had baton pass, which would have been cool tech just to outspeed things. I'm pretty sure it gets baton pass. Did we see any moves from it? Sword Stance, yeah. Yeah, it could have been speed boost, baton pass to to swap it out to like Rhyperior, and then Rhyperior just goes ham. Or even Lurantis, honestly. This thing having superpower for an attack and defense buff is really cool. Contrary is a really interesting ability. Really cool to bring against Intimidate Mons and whatnot. Yeah, Porygon 2, I think. I was actually surprised he didn't bring it game 1. It makes sense bringing Dragonite, Lurantis just for buffs to survive, and then these two because they're your fastest. Both of them outspeed my entire team. And Dragonite's pretty dang close, although I EV'd my some of my mons to outspeed base 80 specifically. Let me just grab this replay real quick. Make sure, yeah, I think it's the right one. But yeah, I'll pull up the team here just so you guys can see it, and then I'll wrap it up just because it's pretty late. I don't want my videos to be like an hour long. Some, especially the beginning ones, I would talk for like 50 minutes to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, usually on the higher end. And you guys got stuff to do, okay? I know you guys are busy. But this was the team. Zapdos was. He can be fairly bulky if you invest a lot in his defenses, but he's supposed to be one of my KO takers. So I didn't want to invest in defenses. So if you don't want to do that, you have to use Focus Sash and hope they don't double into him, which is what I did this week. And U-turn was specifically to deal with Alakazam, just because he's so freaking fast. I would assume that any like stab psychic calc into Zapdos just kills it, especially if you run like Magic Guard, Life Orb or something, but even then I don't even think that's necessary. I think you can just run Inner Focus to cover for Fake Out if you wanted to lead it, which I was expecting, or Alakazam was one of the leads I was preparing for, and U-turn just obliterates him because he has like no physical defense. Yeah, he's got 55 HP, 45 defense. Yeah, U-turn would just absolutely obliterate him. So my goal there was to U-turn out into something else if I wanted to set up Trick Room with Sigilif, or if Liepard was on the field, I could U-turn out into a different mon for a switch in into like, I don't know, like if Porygon 2 is on the field, I could have switched into like a Lurantis superpower or something with Trevenant or whatever. But I mean, based on what was brought, I didn't really have to worry about that. And then this week I brought Lagging Tail Liepard specifically to deal with those higher speed mons, but also to deal with the lower speed mons who undersped me in Trick Room in case it got set up, just because it would allow me to make one of his mons move last regardless of speed tier. Priority is different, but assuming the same priority tier, I could force a mon to move last, which is extremely beneficial because that means even if he has one mon that moves first, if I tank a hit or whatnot, my other two mons can get their moves in before his second mon. So that can be the difference between getting doubled up on or doubling up on somebody else yourself. So Prankster's one hell of an ability. And then I also ran Foul Play just based on the physical attackers. Foul Play seems to be, a lot of Prankster users' main tool, or I guess more support mons, main tool for dealing damage. So, and considering the number of physically offensive mons in this format, I think Foul Play is going to be pretty common on Liepard just to deal good damage into other mons. Especially like if they set up, like there was a lot of setup against on Mono's team between like Contrary Superpower and Swords Dance. He had Swords Dance on two mons, Scolipede and Rhyperior that we saw, and then Superpower for an attack buff. Granted, I guess Superpower is a little different because he's getting a defense buff too, so it evens out. But yeah, Foul Play is going to be very useful each week that I bring in. Encore is... I undervalued how strong Encore was until I saw it used the last like 2 seasons, I guess, that I've been in. There were 2 separate seasons, but at the same time. The Encore is bonkers, and then you have Prankster on top of that. Like, if somebody protects in front of you, next turn, you can just Encore them into protect. So, and unless they get the double, you basically just have a free turn. So it either forces them to sit there and hope for the double, or switch out. And then if you have a good move into their back mons, you can just click that button in case they do switch out or get free damage. So Prankster Encore is insane. And then Trick, like I talked about, Trick for Lagging Tail, just to deal with, the higher and lower speed tiers on Mono's team. So, and then Sigilif, which was a key part of this team. In fact, he was the first one I think I put together on this team. Dealt with a lot of the offensive mons, or a lot of any of the mons on his team. The ones that I would assume that would have been led, like these two. I think those are, and I guess maybe Slowbro. Slowbro I was hoping not to see, and I was glad not to see it. That was going to be an issue if he did bring it. But mainly these four, Dragonite, Porygon 2, Scolpede, and Alakazam. I had Sigilif as one of the two leads into those. Tinted Lens and Ice Beam, I didn't really need. I mean, Tinted Lens is insane. I don't technically need as many coverage moves when I can just hit everything for neutral. So, and Ice Beam was great coverage into the team. So, I figured that was the only attacking move I needed, and then Protect is great. Just one is just a high priority defensive move to protect myself, obviously, but also because it pairs well with Imprison. So, Imprison, Trick Room, Protect allows me to not only prevent Trick Room from going up, but also from allowing my opponent to protect. So, and I EV'd him very specifically to survive a lot of offensive threats that I was expecting as leads, and thankfully that actually did pan out this week. So we'll have to see in the future. Sigilif is like not super bulky, unless I like super invest in his defense, and I didn't really invest too much. 116, 36, 60 for his defensive stats is nothing. I mean, it's a hefty investment, but it's nothing like crazy. But so far there's been a lot of calcs that I've run that are like, yeah, he's not gonna take a hit, even if I'd have to like super max out his defenses in order to tank hits. So he's very situationally defensive, but his utility is nuts. I can't argue that. So he was a phenomenal bring this week for me. And then Skarmory, who single-handedly won me game 2. 4 words: Iron Defense, Body Press. I mean, we've seen Iron Defense, Body Press go off in this format many times, and even just this season. That doesn't even include the past season that I joined for. You just run like a bulky Steel type, which in this case is Steel Flying, Leftovers, Body Press, Iron Defense, Boom, all you need, and then Roost for a little bit of HP recovery. And then Whirlwind specifically to switch mons out for buffs, or for Trick Room. He was one of the leads I was considering if I thought Trick Room was going to be a major issue, this being a surprise. So, and then I just ran max HP defense with Sturdy just to cover, my bases in case he got hit by like a souped up Thunderbolt or something, which Porygon did have Thunderbolt. So, yeah, this super defensive mons that can Iron Defense and Body Press are nuts, and I'm sure that's not the last we'll see of Iron Defense Body Press in this format or any format. Trevenant didn't make it to the field this week. I was hoping that he would. He was going to be one of my Slowbro answers. In fact, he was going to be the Slowbro answer, if I'm going to be honest. He was also going to be my Rhyperior answer, but I had other means for dealing with it. I thought Skarmory matched up more defensively. Trevenant gets 2-hit KO'd by any rock move it has. And if it crits Stone Edge, I think I'm just dead. Versus Skarmory can actually tank those, which is why I opted for him instead of Trevenant. But Trevenant's Horn Leech just obliterates Rhyperior straight through solid rock. And defensive investment. I mean, quad effectiveness, Life Orb, and 204 attack on Adamant Nature, it's not going to tank that. Which is really good for also getting HP back for survivability. So Trevenant was a nice backup into for Wishy-Washy, Slowbro, and Rhyperior. considering I didn't see Wishy-Washy or Slowbro, I didn't see it as necessary to bring into the matchup, but I wanted it here in case I did see those. And then Scentiscorch was a very specific bring for a few mons, specifically Alakazam, Scolipede, with an attack buff. I match well into Porygon 2. Beware for fire damage because it's probably running Fluffy. Matches well into Lurantis, and then it doesn't match well into any of the other mons. But these 5 specific mons, Scentiscorch looked really good. I could have ran Flash Fire for Ponyta, but I honestly didn't see that coming at all. I wasn't even including it in one of the options that he could bring, so he did surprise me with that. But I opted for White Smoke in case there's any stat dropping potential moves or just straight stat dropping moves, just to make sure that I couldn't have my stats lowered. And then I opted for Charty Berry for rock moves. I actually would tank a rock move from Rhyperior with this berry, even though it's still technically super effective, just because I invested in max HP, and then the rest went to attack with an Adamant Nature. And after a boost with Coil, this thing does insane damage. Between Fire Lash also dropping your defense one stage, and then Leech Life giving me HP back. Based on the mons that I thought could possibly be brought, this thing would have been a nightmare to deal with. Just boosting its attack and defense. Accuracy is not relevant because these are both 100% accurate moves. But after one coil, this thing's recovering a ton of HP with Leech Life and dealing a lot of damage. So, but that was the team for this week. That's all I got. I said I was going to try and keep it as short as possible, so I'm going to stick to my word. So thanks for chilling. GG's Mono, that was a super interesting team you brought. I was not expecting half of what you brought at all, especially the Ponyta. That thing dealt a lot of damage, and I was not expecting that in the slightest. So I'd say that was a very creative build, despite the outcome. I think there were some mons I would have expected more, but I do love to see creativity. And you know, Mono, you're a great player, so I think the rest of the season will be you'll have a good showing for sure. You got a good team, you're a great player, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next. And I can't wait to see the pace too. I'd love to see what you what you actually have on the rest of your team for items and EVs and stuff, because I'm sure they're bonkers. So, but thanks for chilling, everybody. I appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. I got another match on Sunday, so I'll see you then. Good night.